Alright, so here is this part is going to demonstrate the parts for the electric guitar, for the lead electric guitar, and for the bass. They're both the same, or for most of the songs, so you can practice them both, and you can practice them on a regular acoustic guitar, on electric guitar, or on a bass. Either or, and eventually you'll apply them to, you practice them on whatever you have, and eventually apply them to whatever instrument you end up playing in class. The first part we're going to talk about is that main riff. If you notice, everything is happening on the two thick strings throughout the whole riff. And but it does require your fingers to kind of jump around a little bit all over the place, and you want to make sure you practice it with different fingers, because if you try to do it with one finger, you're going to get a lot of these scratchy noises that end up coming there, and once they're amplified they become a lot more aggressive and annoying. Also, just to get good finger dexterity, make your life a little easier. So we got first riff, our main riff. I'm starting here on the 6th string open, and then I have a little riff. So I'm going 6th string 2nd fret, 6th string 4th fret, 5th string 2nd fret. Now I have to, so that's the first phrase I have to worry about. Now the next phrase, I have to shift my fingers a little bit here to this area here. So my pointer finger is now at the 4th fret. And this is simple little 5th string 4th fret, 5th string 6th fret, and back to 5th string 4th fret. So altogether I have this is where the fun kind of starts. I usually would do this with my ring and pinky, but I know that finger can be a little bit weak, especially the beginning, and especially if you're going to end up playing bass, because those strings are really thick. I will demonstrate that later. So you can shift your fingers over if you want. So I got my finger here on the 5th string 6th fret. Next finger is here on the 5th string 7th fret. And then I'm going to take them off and play the 5th string open. Altogether I have this. Adding the last two notes that I played here, the 6th fret, 7th fret on the 5th string at the end. So it's then I'm going to do a variation on this that's going to be almost the same, just going to have a little bit of a twist in there in the middle. It starts the same way, just like we started before. Open, 2, 4, 2 on the 5th string. Here's where the difference happens. Instead of going back to the 5th string 4th fret, I'm going to go to the 6th string 4th fret. And then and I'm going to do 5th string 6th fret, back to 6th string 4th fret. So I have, sorry, and I finish it on the 5th string open, no pressing anywhere, and that little tag at the end. So altogether the second half of that riff And basically I'm going to alternate between those two riffs. And so on. Here's going to be I'm going to show you the main riff again, only this time it's going to be on an electric guitar, and you'll see some of the fine things that you want to work on to make sure you don't, what the challenges of playing it on an electric guitar can actually bring. First of all, hear these. What happens is to a lot of people when you play the riff and you let other strings accidentally ring, you're kind of distorting the sound. You're making it all sorts of extra unnecessary noises that, once playing through an electric guitar and amplified, are going to be a lot more obvious. So you really want to make sure you're only plucking the string you want to make, and you're trying to make sure that nothing else rings there in the background. It's especially dangerous on electric because the tiniest little shakes start making strings vibrate. One of the things that I do is I keep my hand here close to the strings, close to the bridge, so I can have, like, the rest of the fingers, I'm holding the pick and I'm playing with the pick, but I keep all the other fingers sort of lightly touching the other strings, as many of them as I can, so they don't vibrate. So no matter what happens, I only get this note. One of the things to really watch out here is when you're playing open strings. When you're not touching any other strings. And you're trying to move, let's say when we're going back to the beginning of the fret. It's very easy to get something else ringing, and you want to make sure that that's not the case. It's going to be especially obvious when you turn on the distortion, the hard rock sound. It's when you have all sorts of other notes playing around there, ringing, you get a lot of noise that you don't want. There's your main part on the electric. Okay, here's the main part. Same idea, same song, same riff, all the same places. Only this time it's played on a bass guitar. And it's one of the challenges on bass. It's longer, it's bigger, it's huger. The distance between the frets is a lot bigger. It really forces you to move all around the fretboard quite a bit. But the notes are the same place. We're going to treat this thick string as if it's the sixth thick string of a guitar. And so on from there. This would be, the third string would be like the fifth string of a guitar. The second string would be like the fourth string of a guitar. And the first string is going to be like the third string of a guitar. And since we're playing everything on the thick strings, you got everything matching up. Again, same thing. Open. my fingers end up in the same places, but here I'm playing slightly different technique. Usually I will not use a pick, but it's not necessary. You can play it with a pick if you want, if it's easier. You'd probably end up playing more here. You see, I'm actually closer to the bridge. But any way you want it, it will work. I like using, a lot of times using my fingers. I like to have my thumb leaning here on the pickup. And then I do what I call sort of a walking motion between the two fingers.